Hi, this is Steve Lentini, and I'm your host for the podcast Different Thinking for Different Times. This is season 2, episode 29. People ask me often how can they live in that thinking above their thinking and how can they make a difference in this world? And so I'm talking about expanding into limitless thinking. And they ask me too, how do they escape that small minded thinker? Because that voice sometimes is so loud and prevalent that they believe it all. And how we can feel mindful and present is to get out of our own heads by doing things for others. So a lot of people spend their lives hoping for a miracle when we live in a miracle, number one. Number two, go out and do something good for people. It might be a smile. You might be a miracle by smiling at someone or sharing a moment, asking them how they're doing, looking in their eyes and making a connection and not saying a word, just listening. You could buy someone a sandwich, maybe that person that's you've walked by 100 times, or give them a few bucks and not judge it. That small-minded voice that has you judging what they'll do with the money. What they do with the money is none of your business. Their life is created from all their own actions, and the result of their life is life itself giving them feedback. If they do something positive with the money, maybe even if they share half of what you give them with someone else, imagine that touches another life. And if they don't, that's not your job. Your job is to leave everyone and everything a little better than you find them. Maybe it's not responding on Facebook because someone disagrees with you as far as your stance on human sexuality or same-sex marriage or interrace dialogue or politics. How about you just let people have the journey they have and not get so reactive? Anytime you react to someone who thinks different than you, I chuckle a little bit because I noticed where my brain wants to, and today I let it go. I let it go. I can't control them. Then no one's going to change my mind about how I feel on any given topic, and yet I'm still open to change by listening to people. I want to understand why people feel the way they feel. So that's how to overcome small-minded thinking and how to make a difference in this world is be a miracle for others. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to give someone money to be a miracle for others, but do something that goes against your acorn brain, because that's why we're here. We're only here a short time. It's a grain of sand in time, a blink, an eye wink in time. And mostly we spend time believing our thinking and making others wrong so we can be right and telling others how right we are, especially when we think of today's world and politics. Who cares what other people think? Let them think that way. Ask them why they think that way. Maybe you learn something, maybe not. But our job is actually to become more accepting and loving and forgiving and joyful, filled with gratitude, helping others along the way in this journey, because we all are in the same journey. It matters not that there are people that are opposite from us, whether it's the opposite sex or opposite-minded thinking. Become more accepting. And on the other side, and I was there, I had a near-death experience, there was no judgment. Now, that'll upset a lot of religious people who not only want people to pay for their mistakes here, but they want them to burn in hell forever. And I get it. I get it that there's been a lot of reading about it. There's been a lot written over the eons about that. And it's small-minded thinking. And if it sounds like small-minded thinking to you, It's not where the infinite resides, where God resides, the goddess, the Brahma, the Buddha, the Muhammad, the Christ consciousness, the Abraham, the Moshe, the David, any of the prophets. They had their own human experience, and they had the small acorn brain. They had that small-minded thinking. And when they left their body, they learned, as I did in that moment when I had no body, that immediately you have a knowing that you're one with everything and nothing. You're one with the infinite, and that nothing from here is there. All the material things and titles and accomplishments that we give ourselves credit for and often use it as a way to validate ourselves from the outside in really mean nothing. However, if you learn to live from the inside out, filled with joy, conversing with the divine in every moment, knowing the divine also has a sense of humor, because all there was on the other side of my near-death experience was the now. The now. It was a now on steroids, I call it. It was like a scene and a scene and a scene. And I couldn't string them together. There was no past or future. What we're going from here to is back to the infinite. Back to infinite joy, infinite mercy, infinite love, infinite everything. And you're just going to know it. It's amazing. And no small-minded acorn brain thinking. Because darkness could not exist in the face of light. Even a match lights up a dark closet. We are here to overcome all of that thinking and to embrace the moment, because that's where the divine was. When I left my body, there was only the now. So back in my body, who am I to start to judge that certain things that show up in the now are the divine, the ones I like, and the things I don't like are not divine? It's all God. How would we know we were alive? How would we learn anything? How would we grow if we didn't have people and events to challenge us and change us and to stretch us? You look in today's environment, there's so many people that believe they have the right way to live with a virus. And I'm not going to go into all the thoughts about whether to close businesses down or keep them open, but common sense says we take care of those around us. We wear a mask, we social distance. Certainly, it'd be fine if everybody went to work except those that were ill, and old and infirmed, and maybe that have diabetes like me or other things. We can protect those that need protection without living in fear of death. I mean, government doesn't protect us from death. No one can. I died on November 18th, 2002 in intensive care. It was not in my plans that day. And some of us will die after hearing this recording. I hope it's not you. I hope you don't die in the next minute. But we can't control that. It's odd that consciousness and the government has us running from the moment where what we miss is the divine. There's no way to escape leaving here. If you have found a way to escape it, let me know. Come on the show. Come on the podcast. I'll interview you. You can challenge me, and all I'll ask anyone who comes on is, does it sound like small-minded thinking? So I encourage everyone to go out and help someone. Go out and be a miracle for others. Maybe it's just cleaning up your neighborhood. Bring a trash bag with you, put some gloves on, and go pick up trash instead of complaining about it. Go do something to make the world a better place. Maybe you just sit and listen to someone who thinks differently from you, and maybe you don't start typing on Facebook with rage and anger, and or share a post that makes all the others who don't think like you wrong, because it's a waste of energy. And you're missing out on the purpose that the divine, the God, the goddess, whatever you call it, set up for us, which was to learn to overcome all small-minded thinking. There was no male, no female. no races, no nationality, no religions. We go back to being one with all of life, with the life force energy, with the divine, whatever you call it. It had no name, as Lao Tzu said when he was asked, as he was describing to people around him this life force. And they asked him, "What do you call this life force?" And he said, "You cannot name that which has no name." So most will never ever experience what I experienced. I wish more could, to die and then come back, or to croak, I call it, because, or to leave here, or to go to what's next. We ought to call it what's next. You know, I say that. Have a sense of humor in the moment and look for the gift in especially the things that bug you or that you wouldn't ordinarily do. Call into question your acorn brain. After all, who is the thinker of the thought? Work to wake up and jump into your life. As the book I've written on, it's on Amazon, talks about, we have to relearn everything we've been taught, because we've been taught to be right and to make others wrong, and to have a reason, a good doggone reason for the stand we take. It's all silly. It's all here to teach us to leave everything and everyone a little better than you find them is really a good mission in life, and to do good. And as I've shared before, the only thing mentioned in my life review was all the lives I had touched, all the good I had done. Somehow, the reason you feel good when you do good is that it's etched onto the fabric of time, that good has an energy that will reverberate even into your next existence. And there is a what's next. It just doesn't look like this. And so go out and do good, make a difference in someone's life tomorrow, in the next few hours even. Call someone you haven't called in a long time. Reach out to someone that maybe you have to say, "Hey, I'm sorry I acted like a dope or a shithead." Pardon my French. So do good. Leave everything and everyone a little better than you find them in the moment, and embrace those that think differently than you and bug you and look differently than you. Whatever your little brain calls a big difference is nothing less than God in disguise, challenging you to overcome it, to stretch and grow, overcome the acorn brain, the small-minded, limited thinking, and expand into the limitless. Thank you. Any questions? Steve at stevelentini.com. Steve at stevelentini.com. And I thank all those that are listening all over the world. Go out and do something about it. Make others' life easier, maybe with a smile, maybe just listening, maybe holding a hand, maybe giving some money, maybe cleaning your neighborhood. But do something that makes a difference. Be a miracle for others. Thank you.